ready for this? No one's gonna come back and be like, yeah, we're ready for this.
I'm half asleep. Dang it. I need to get my water.
Oh, the popcorn's done.
Again.
The popcorn's done. What's up, everybody? So we like to give a little bit of time for everybody to kind of join us. This is the K Huddle.
The cuddle. The H is silent.
So you guys, you helped us come up with this name probably 2 weeks ago, where we were trying to decide what to call this, and all of us are here in the studio together. This is the only time that the entire cast gets together because all of us, we're all on the air at different times. You've got Ashley and myself and morning show producer Chloe on in the morning. Melissa comes in on after us and then hangs with Slater too, who's then on after her. And then Chloe's back on the air at night. So this is the only chance and opportunity for us to get together as an entire staff. And really, to be honest, I think in the entire country, I think we're the only station that affords our listeners the opportunity to see the entire cast in one time, like in one session like this, where we're just free form talking.
Yeah, because other times we're on a time limit when we're on the air. Hey, Jacob. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Justin. Hey, Sherry. Anybody want to bet how quickly the other moms get on?
I mean, give it like 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
So I do want to put this out there too, because this will be a podcast as well. And really all I'm saying by that, for those of you out there who are like, oh, what does that mean, a podcast? Really, we're just going to take the audio from this, because this is also a video stream as well. And so while you can visually see us, this will also be available to those of you who want to listen on your car rides or, whenever
we do have a face for radio. So if you don't want to see it, I'm just kidding.
All right. Okay. So how's everybody doing? First, let's go around the room as we've got here. Let me bring up the comments too, so this way I can watch everybody's. Oh, I changed the camera too. I changed the camera. Remember, my camera was over there, so like every time I talk to you guys, like I have to keep checking.
Your Inspector Gadget arms.
Yeah. So look at that, man. See, we bought that little USB extender. $10.
Teresa says happy birthday to my mom. Teresa, thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet.
Justin, Kelsey, Brittany, Sandy, guys, good to see you all in there.
How's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing today? I know you guys always hop on and hear us chat, but don't forget, we want to hear from you. And we were talking about this morning, hugging. It's National Hugging Day. Brittany, did you already say hug? Oh, because the question's kind of already out there about whether are you a hugger right now, or are you a elbower,
toucher,
a fist bumper, or no contact at all? We were talking about it, obviously, because there's a day for everything on this national calendar. There's National Margarita Day. There's National Singles Awareness Day.
Red Wine
Day. There's
National
something for everything.
Day.
So
never mind. There's actually one, because I remember last year I did a Grapes and Gossip video where I talked about the weirdest national holidays, and one was grab your nuts, but it's talking about nuts, actual peanuts. And I was like, why would they be?
I was the first one to go oh.
No, it's actually about peanuts. And that's why I was like, that is the weirdest, okay, whatever.
Brittany says she does miss hugging. No fist bumps. She feels awkward when putting it out there, fist, and I'm not paying attention. Yeah, that's awkward because you don't know how someone's going to go. And that's what we brought up on the show this morning, because the other night at that Diamond Resorts concert, Randy Hauser, Lee Bryce, Michael Ray all went in for hugs. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is happening. we're doing this. And Melissa was there with me, and because I'm kind of
Ashley
some of them
would walk
have
up like this, and they'd be like, nah, come here.
Yeah, they're like, oh, come on, bring it in. I've already had it. So
I've already had it.
Yeah, that's what Randy said.
That is interesting though, because so there is this awkwardness, right? For instance, even if you're just going to go in for the handshake, which I think probably in the past 3 months we've gotten okay with at least the handshake, right? And so even when you go in for the handshake and somebody does this to you, there's just this feeling of rejection, right? I know it's so minute, it's so small, but it happens.
Well, and if you think about too, before COVID, if you went to go handshake somebody and immediately after they pulled out hand sanitizer and wiped their hands, you'd be like, okay, am I that gross? But now it's like, oh, okay, that's normal. Can I have some too?
Honestly though, I've been in some situations recently at a car dealership where I'm meeting somebody brand new. The other night at the same event, meeting brand new people where I've and hand has not been extended. So then I'm like, okay, we're not shaking hands, but then you feel rude, not offering because you're so used to that. Hey, that's awesome, Jen.
Well, I see it all the time too, working out all red. I can't tell you how many of you guys come in, listeners, and they'll be like, Chloe, and it's like, what are you
Knuckles. You can just do that. I've already had it.
Found it.
Does anybody, by the way, does anybody know if you've already had it? Like, are you done for possibly having it ever again in the
I think
future?
it's literally up in the air.
Yeah.
There's so many different things that people are saying. 6 months, you can get it again.
Somebody
3
did tell me
months,
they know somebody that got it twice. So
different
know.
strains. Like, who knows what?
Yeah.
And Jennifer said it depends on the circle of friends on what you do. Does it depend who it is?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah,
Like
I
your
agree.
genes.
Yeah,
Your
no.
DNA
Well,
type of-
so I guess like if it's your friends that you hang out with on a daily basis, if it's your close friends, then
Oh,
you're going in for a
I'm
hug.
thinking if you get it twice. Sorry, I was
No,
reading
no.
comments, and
Sorry.
I was thinking that it depends on who you are, because I have heard that some people, like your genes, that obviously if your like family member gets it and you get it, you guys react the same way with your symptoms because of how your genes are in your body. So that's where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I see Michael there saying that I'm definitely a hugger. This sucks. So there's a lot of times where a lot of the guys that I hang out with, and just because we've got great relationships, but I'm 5'5", so a lot of these guys want to not only hug me, but they do the whole
Pick you up.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then that makes their face right there level with yours. Like, thank you for breathing on me.
And
Nice.
at this point, I mean, if we're supposed to get it, we're supposed to get it. At least that's where I am, and I get that there's other people out there that are still staying tried and true. So no judgment zone.
There's somebody just said their fiance's mom, Kelsey said fiance's mom had it twice.
Wow.
Oh,
That's pretty
Brittany, I'm
scary.
with you. You only hug certain people. I don't hug everyone.
Same.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, well, and you girls have to watch that more than us guys.
No.
Hugging
Like as
people.
far as guys can be creepos.
So for other reasons, you mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
We've always had to watch that, not just during COVID.
Right? For real.
It's funny. I've seen so one of the kids at church, he's growing up and he's starting to, become a handsome little kid, but he's like 13, 14. And so I see him now as I leave church, I see him, he's got to give 4 or 5 girls a hug. He's like, bye girl.
Oh my
And he goes to
God.
next year, hey, what's up, girl? I'll see you next Sunday. Like, come on, what a little
The
stud.
smoothness.
What a little stud.
What a little
Do you
stud.
ever think about how you hug? I've never been someone that's a big hugger. I mean, never been a
Even
cuddler.
even normal.
Even when life was normal. Like, do you go for are you the over one? Are you the under one?
Obi's probably the under because you're short.
Are you coming from the side? Like,
You know what's
Yeah, the
funny
side hugs.
about being short though is that when I get hugged by a taller guy, which is normally bigger dudes, I'm right in their armpit, right where they're like, oof, and I'm like either that or right in their breast, like I feel their nipple like. Like
I think we have a picture of that with Brett Young because he's so tall that you were literally in his armpit.
But Chloe, that's a great topic to bring up is the art of the hug. Like, which one are you? Are you like Ashley seems to me to be the pat on the back type of
If
hugger.
I don't know you well, like, there's some people when you embrace and because you want to hug them. And then there's some that come up to you, maybe people that don't know you that well, and they like want to give you a hug because they think they know you. And they do that, and I'm kind of like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too, because I don't even know you.
Well, and it's funny that you say that too, because you have met, Randy. Like I asked you, I was like, if you walked up to Randy, would he recognize you? You're like, yeah, we follow each other on Instagram. He comments on my photos, so he definitely knows who I am. But when I shook his hand, you were like, do you remember Melissa? You've met her. She's on air.
Yeah.
And I know he doesn't remember me because he meets so many people. There's no way he actually was able to put my face to a name.
But he still
went in and
hug.
hugged me. So it's just like, I feel like the type of people they are too, is they're just like super nice and will go in for a hug whether they know you or not.
Yeah.
And he was the one that was like, we had it.
Yeah.
Right in the back of my head.
Yeah.
There's no risk here.
Okay, so I'm a full embracer. Like I'm a full embracer. Like I mean, I wanna feel the heartbeat of the other person. and you know where that came from? That came from in I think it was 9th grade or something like that. All it took was one girl to tell me that I was a good hugger.
Shut up.
No
That's all it
way.
takes. That's all it takes. Just the same way. Like if a girl tells you like, oh, you look good in a hat. Or if a girl tells you, oh, you look good in those shoes, boom, you're buying.
Always wearing them.
You're buying those shoes.
That
Never
cologne.
You're wearing that hat, and
Did you ever date that girl who told you that?
No, I didn't date her. I think I was still like unaware. Like in 9th grade, you're still kind of like feeling out yourself. Like, is this what a crush feels like? Like,
Hey, Jen wants
But
to
I
know,
know
what
I'm a good hugger.
what you do when people want to hug the baby or touch the baby right now. Jen is asking.
Yeah, okay. Great question. That's been very interesting because we know. So this is how I'm going to answer that. We've kind of let everybody love on him the way that they want to. Only reason why I say that is because a lot of these people also helped pray for this scenario to come about. So it's very rough. I have to believe that if God allowed us to have this kid, he's also going to protect this kid from the people who prayed for us to have him. So that's an interesting question. We've been very just very open with him and all the people who have wanted to visit him. So I don't know if that's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, but nevertheless, here we are.
Somebody else just said something. Oh, Slater couldn't he be here today? So that's the thing with this too, is like we're all gonna try and be here on this for most days, but sometimes I might have a meeting I have to be in. Yeah. Melissa might have an appointment. Obi might have something else going on. Yeah. Chloe too. So we all try to be on these all the time, but sometimes one of us might be missing.
Yeah. So Slater,
but he's fine.
So he's good, but
he actually was fired. But no, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. No, I'll tell him. I'll be like, I told everyone you were fired. That's why we're on the video tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
He's gonna start getting messages.
Hey, I'm always gonna be here though. You guys can rely on that.
Well, you steer the ship. So.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So speaking of steering the ship, there was another thing that we wanted to bring up today, and this was going to be, I wrote it down. Oh, the Powerball.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we had a second date update. Kind of funny the way the planets aligned with this one, because we had the Powerball winner yesterday. Mind you, the second date update, they didn't win the lotto, but they did win a scratch off, which was for $1,000. And the guy and the girl, they didn't go on a second date, but nevertheless, the guy thought that they should have split those earnings. I just want to talk about the Powerball, period. Just the winnings. You give $1 and you get whatever it is back. That's kind of cool. And now somebody's $730 million richer because of that
one
dollar.
person in Maryland. Yeah, Clarissa didn't win. Yeah, me neither. But your chances do go up when you buy a ticket. So you got to do that first.
So the Mega Million, though, is at $970 million.
Almost $1 billion.
I didn't know that. That's freaking higher than the.
Yeah, that's for Friday, and it's the Mega Millions, but it's about to be $1 billion. So I don't know if that's ever happened before that it's been that large.
Well, and so let's discuss. And you guys, please feel free to drop comments in here. As far as I know, you've done it. We talked about it in here. If you've ever fantasized about what it would be like to win that money. To me, anything over $100 million is just crazy money. And to think that this person's running around with 730, and that on Saturday somebody's going to win 900 over 900.
It could go up after that, because the last one I think was 830 million, and no one won it, and then it jumped to 970.
That's almost irresponsible, though, right?
How much?
Irresponsible.
And my favorite thing is when you're talking about how much money you could win. Somebody's response is, yeah, but they take taxes out. It's like, okay, but still,
so sorry, you
over
only got
600 million.
430 million.
I don't know. I don't want it unless I'm getting all of it. Okay.
Well, and I love the conversations that are like, if it's at 600 million, they're like, I'm gonna wait and see if it goes up a little bit. Like,
now
600 million wasn't enough.
I love Teresa. Teresa, you said I'm a sore loser, so I won't buy them. I do agree with that. That whenever I lose, I'm always like,
discouraged.
Technically, you're giving the money you spent on that ticket to the winner.
Mm-hmm. The winner, or
some of it goes to the school system.
I was gonna say it does help fund Florida Bright Futures. 75% of my college tuition was paid thanks to the lotto system in Florida all 4 years.
All right, so here's a question for you, Obi. If you were to win that money, would you be one of those people who tried to stay anonymous? Like, would you want people to know you won that much money?
I wouldn't want anyone to know.
I think in Florida, legally, you have to.
Yeah.
But certain states, you aren't legally bound to admit or openly say your name if you want.
Man, that's really rough. I definitely couldn't stay in town. I mean, with all, I hate to be that guy, but with as open and as open.
You would still work after having 970 in the bank.
I mean, at that point, you're like really vulnerable.
Yeah.
At that point, you're really vulnerable.
And you got to be smart with it and not blow it on go spending some crazy things just because you think you're loaded.
Family's calling you, all of your friends who you've ever had lunch with or ever. I mean, now, everyone, even if it's a call of congratulations.
It's going to be like when Garth Brooks came to town on steroids, because I was getting reached out from people like who did my security system. This was like back, obviously, however many years ago. I have a new security system now, but it was just funny because it's like, you installed my security and you found my phone number and texted me and said, hey, can you get me into that Garth show?
Remember that one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I don't know. I would definitely pay off credit cards and then I would have some fun with it and have some probably like
pay off your house too.
Local. I would move.
Like pay. Oh, you'd move
for sure.
Would you pay off like your parents' house and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I would do the things for the family. And then if there's like a local organization that needs help, but I wouldn't want to be public because then you do get people just pounding your door down.
Yeah.
And then they make you feel guilty if you don't share it. It's like, chill out. What
Yeah.
I do with this is up to me.
Yeah, it's your money.
Senia says she'd be happy to win $50. Yeah, I'm with you.
I
Yeah.
feel you.
Well, I did say, Darla says that, because 2 million isn't enough. And it's,
Right.
I thought about this too, where somebody had won $1 million and we were talking about that in here, is it life changing? $1 million could help you pay off your house. And that in itself would help change your life a little bit because it would free up some bills.
Mhm.
But like the 2 million, that is just enough that you would still have to work.
Yeah.
'cause
Especially
it
if you
would
don't
pay-
blow through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah, you
still,
need the
you'd
newest
still have
car.
to have that. Like that would just be enough to probably pay off like your house, your car,
Mhm.
and all that stuff that you'd want to have to get you through, but you'd still have taxes you'd have to pay on your house that every year, even if your house is paid off, you still have
Mhm.
payments, fixing your car if it breaks. Like there's
Then you
still
could be
Yeah.
on the opposite end and do everything way on the low end of the totem pole. If you're driving an old car and you're not making payments and you don't feel, and you're like, I'm going to go buy the fanciest thing just because I have it. I'm going to go buy this mansion. I'm going to go buy all these boats. Like if you're smart about the money.
like just pay off the house you're currently living in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
See, but how funny, because like as you just said all of that, I said, wait a minute. Okay, so I would be smart with my money too, but hold on. I would now have the money to get my DeLorean. I would now have the money to own
Oh my gosh.
to own at least one Ferrari or one
Would you
Lamborghini,
drive
right?
this DeLorean?
Yeah. Go. You've got. I would have to buy two. I would have to buy two.
Oh
so
my
this way,
God.
if one got wrecked or one got scratched, then you have the other one like kind of tucked away.
A
See?
Pinto.
But that's what happens with that kind
And
of
that's
funny
why
money.
Obi would still have to work on $1 million.
Yeah.
He'd be like, wait, but have you seen my collection of DeLoreans? Okay.
Teresa, yeah, I'm with you. I've talked to Teresa about investing some stuff. She said she'd invest. You'd have to invest. That's where the money grows.
Well, and the buying land, like that's something that is not being
It's like
produced.
Monopoly. Come
Yeah.
on. You just gotta buy land and make more money off of it.
Oh, man.
Real. Isn't it funny too, like how fast $1 million can go? When you think about it, million, that word just sounds like a lot. But in a lot of people's lifetimes, you might come close to spending that amount of money on your house, even if it's $100,000 when you buy it.
I'm gonna do
If
some
you move
math here
again.
for a second.
How much does a kid cost? Because I know my mom's always like, you're expensive. How many?
Yeah, what do they say to
This
take a
is
kid
like an average for a child.
to take a kid
Okay,
from birth
this
to
puts it in
college?
perspective for you.
Here, let me look that up.
So $1 million over the course of 60 years, it's only $16,000 a year.
There you go.
No way.
Yeah.
So if you start working at the age of 18 and you live to be 80, you definitely spend more than $16,000 a year. Like that's already
Well, and kids, Chloe, you wouldn't have to buy Public Spring ketchup.
Correct. I can buy organic name brand.
So this says, according to
can make your own.
2017, according to 2017, raising a child from the birth age to 17 is $233,000.
Doctors
Does that include
visits.
college?
Inflation, blah
It's
blah
funny you
blah. It
bring
could
that
be
up.
more
My
like
girlfriend was
284.
talking about Florida prepaid, and they have the option right now. Their kid is 2, and it's $350 a month that goes into the fund, and that's the highest option that covers their dorm and living
For how many?
until they're 18. So it's like $75,000
It's okay.
that goes into it.
Dang.
COVID's out the window. I've already had it. Less is spitting on
But
me.
it makes me want. Do you get that money
on,
back?
where's my
Does anyone
mask?
in here? Has anyone done Florida prepaid?
I
Where's
think
the
I
hand
think you're
sanitizer?
supposed to, right? I think you're supposed to get that money back.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like that's crazy. I thought I've heard before. There's like penalty. Did you spill something?
I spit
No,
on her on
Melissa's
accident.
spitting on me.
$250,000, Joy.
You see what I have to deal with in here? See what I have to deal with?
That's why they're all asking where Slater is. They're like, okay, where's the other guy at?
Too much female power in here.
Hi, Jacob.
My 9-year-old is obsessed with the DeLoreans and wants that to be his first car.
Yeah.
What
Well,
is a DeLorean?
the DeLorean is
From
the
Back to
car
the
from Back to
Future.
the Future.
Yes, Michael. We've been doing this every Thursday around
I watch
11
movies,
o'clock.
can you tell?
Around 11.
Around
being the
11.
keyword. So I have a question. So this is something that Slater and I researched and found this story that came out. And I didn't know if it was true about somebody who just bought a house and they found a 2-way mirror in the bathroom with camera equipment behind it. And so then I started talking about this influencer who thought she had somebody living in her attic because she found beer cans and clothes up in her attic. And she had just recently, she had bought the house, she had it for a while. So she had just recently found it. So, and she said that so many people after that had said that they actually had people living in their attic. They've actually found homeless people who have come down
What?
from the attic
No
and
way.
squatters who live up there. So I was just curious, Obi, if you have attic space because you already have so many people.
No, Obi's in a gated neighborhood. They'd have to climb.
Because
the
like
fence.
I don't have attic space because I would literally not sleep after a story like that. So
Mhm.
I would
There's
just be
no
like,
way.
I
How
told
do you
my
not
husband-
hear?
How do you
not
not
hear
know?
somebody?
That
Well,
person's
not
an
know.
idiot.
well, and that
Like,
Like,
real,
let's
the
be
garage?
real.
Well, so one of the people responded to this saying like when the influencer was posting about, oh, I found this beer can, I found this clothes in my attic, I think somebody's living up there. Somebody responded and said that her kid was staying home from school one day and a homeless man came out of the attic thinking that no one was home to get food out of the fridge. And the kid who stayed home from school saw him and they called the police.
oh my god!
See, and well, nowadays though, too many people have these Nest cams. Like, there's no way.
Right.
So somebody just said something about Senia said secret rooms. Like, I get it if there's some secret rooms built in the prohibition days that
No
there's
one,
this,
Right.
the owner doesn't know about or something.
there's no way.
Well,
That
what
is
about
like,
Chicago. She was talking about the
Yeah, that's what she
Chicago
wrote.
homes. The airport. There was a homeless man that was living in the airport for like
Yeah.
4 days.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah, for
Oh,
3 months.
Okay,
for
wait a
3
minute.
months.
4
For
days.
3
and
months,
technically,
there was
if
somebody
they're living
living
in
in the
your attic,
airport.
they're not homeless. They're in your home. They've
don't
got a
you
place to
think
live.
finding a spot in the airport though is a lot actually easier? I've seen some people laying down there that that have been homeless.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how long they've been there. There's more.
Well, I would
spots that
assume
they
at the
can-
airport you just kind of bounce around, right? You bounce around to different corridors, and that's where you live for
And you
a
gotta act
week.
like you
And
belong there. You're like, do you know what happened to this departure? You know,
Oh my
Like-
my flight's still
Yeah.
You just have to
Yeah.
move the gate so that no one actually questions.
you're helping
how
other
long
people
you've
get to
been
their
there.
flights. Like,
Yeah,
"Come
so-
on, come on."
More so, I wanted to bring up the squatter thought and like see like squatters who actually are living in homes that people live in, not like vacant homes.
Mhm.
Apparently, it's a thing and it actually happens.
those people are idiots. I have no problem saying that. If you have somebody squatting in your house and you're there, I see it if it's someone who travels a lot for business. And
Yeah,
they're
and
gone.
they're not home or whatever. But
But if they're there at the same time the other person is there and they don't hear anything,
Mhm.
like that person
Well-
wouldn't be moving.
Yeah,
Well,
they-
and we're not even putting ourselves in the shoes of the person who's having to squat. The person who's having to live in that. When was the last time you took a shower? Are you using my shower?
when they're not home.
Yeah, like are you using my?
Hey, at
Oh.
least if you're in my house, just feed my dog, please. Like, make sure you let him out, go to the bathroom.
Like,
There's
we
a-
can
Contribute here,
for
okay?
it.
There's a note. Your dog barks a lot. You're like, where did this? Who left this?
Oh my gosh. Michael has a good question. Were we country fans before working in radio? Yes, I think Obi grew into it, but the rest of us were.
I mean, I grew up on country, so I actually came up in my memories on Facebook that when I was I think I was 8, and I filled out a thing for school that was like, who's your favorite band? What's your favorite movie? And what radio station do you listen to? And I wrote K90, like 902 FM.
No way.
Nice.
Well,
When I
and
was
that-
8 years old.
You got to fill everyone in. Melissa's the only local from Orlando
yeah,
on the
I
station.
was born in Georgia, but I moved here when I was 6, and I've lived in Castleberry and Deltona. Those are the only 2 cities I've lived in since
Enough
I.
with you. You
since
grew up
I've-
listening to K92.3 and you're working and you're on air for K92.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
When I remember sitting in the car when I was like probably 13, 14, I was like, maybe I should be on the radio. Maybe that should be my job. And immediately I was like, nah, I could never
That's
do
wild
that.
that you remember
And then I
that.
just completely moved on from the idea because I was like, there's no way I could do that. But it definitely crossed my mind when I was young.
Chloe, were you?
Yeah,
You
I
always
always
listen to
grew up.
country?
I really grew up on Kenny Chesney on the rides to school. My mom loved him, and then I just really kind of fell in love with country music after that. How about you, Ash?
I really started getting into it in high school when I was dating a Marine. And, all the sad, sappy songs about your military man being away and all that. So that's when but my first country concert ever was Kenny Chesney. Yep, in Tallahassee.
Nice.
Mine was Luke Bryan.
But Obi's always hunted, even though you might not have listened to the music.
Yeah.
You always lived the lifestyle.
Well, the hunting is what exposed me to country music because I had worked for our hip hop station here, which went from a dance station to hip hop. And then I did that for 17 years. But then after a little bit, you grow up, you mature, certain music doesn't fit your style anymore. And I didn't want to sell that anymore. Because, essentially, I said the word sell, but essentially you want to be on a station that when you're selling this music, when we sell you the new Blake Shelton that we're going to give you the world premiere, you want to really be in love with it. It would almost be like somebody selling you a sandwich that they didn't even like.
Yeah.
And what's great is that the hunting, I'd be around the campfire with all these older white guys, and they'd all make fun of me being on the hip hop station because I was doing a morning show on a hip hop station. And so I'd make fun of them right back, and I'd be like, "Well, what you guys are listening to? That's like pop rock, like that's pop rock." And after saying that, I said, "Wait a minute, It is. I could work for that. I love the lyrics. I love the chords. I love music. You know, I'm a musician myself. And then really
What does
digging
that
into
mean exactly?
what?
You're a musician.
I play piano.
Okay.
Play piano, sing.
You do sing. You
Just
sing
like
all the
please
time.
clarify.
Yeah. So, well, and why that's important to me is because live music, you know, so pop world, there's no live music anymore. Hip hop world, most certainly no live music there. Country music, that's about as real as it gets. I mean, unless you want to go to a jazz station, and ain't nobody trying to do that until maybe in my 70s.
And Michael, you were the one that asked that. Just to be completely blunt with you too, you can't really work in the country format and not like it. Like you will get called out.
Yeah.
The listeners will know. If you don't know what the heck you're talking about, we've got the most loyal and genuine and authentic country fans.
Yeah.
So when you're country and you know the music and you're listening to someone talk about a song or an artist and you're like, they don't sound like they know like the artist at all. So people in the country format know it for the most part and love it. Like you couldn't work in it. You just couldn't. It would be too difficult.
Well,
Jennifer says that she's listened to you on and off for years on a couple of different stations. So you got a little fan that's followed you.
Well,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. You know, what's interesting about all the different genres is, Jen, if you heard me on the hip hop station like that was fun. That was definitely fun. You know, and there's a time for that. Here, all I can say is, out of all the genres that I've worked for, country is different. Country is real. Country is American. There's real hard work. There's real sweat. There's real talent. Man, I don't even know what else to say except for the fact that it is as true radio as you can do. I mean, even talk shows are so skewed.
Well, and it's not that other genres don't care about their listeners, but country artists, I feel like, genuinely go out of their way to make sure that you guys enjoy the show and that they're doing what they can to make sure you are. Like Luke Combs made it, for example, has written multiple songs about his fans spending their money on his tickets.
Yeah.
Like he writes songs about that. So
Yeah.
you know it means something to him that his fans buy tickets to his show.
Well, and the difference, okay, so let me go down the difference too. When we have a country artist come by, like a Florida Georgia Line or anything like that, when they come by the building, those guys are early. Those guys will perform for the entire building, and those guys will sign autographs. Anybody else, and I'm even talking. Listen, I love Sean Hannity, and you know, like he's one of these guys, and some of the other big names. When they come into the building, man, they come into the building like this. They come in, do what they got to do, and they're out. You know, there's hardly a reciprocation.
Oh, and they bring like a posse. There's like 7 to 10 people with them, and they don't make eye contact.
Dude,
It's like-
hip hop was the worst. Hip hop, they would show up an hour and a half late. And they'd come in with their whole crew into a studio. They'd be disrespectful. They'd give you a whole list of questions that you could not ask the artist. And, you know, so just saying that when our country artists, when they come here, you see it. You see it at the concerts.
Yep.
You see it at the meet and greets. It's just a different genre.
Well, and you feel it through their music, 100%.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
just how relatable lyrics are.
Speaking of meet and greets, we've got tonight Cole Swindell and Randy Hauser at Diamond Resort. So make sure you're already on here and you like this page, which is why you probably got a notification. But I'm going to go live with them tonight. So that'll be some live music you can watch, and that'll be fun. We talked about Lee Bryce and Travis Tritt. And then we also have something to show you from Tijuana Flats today.
Yeah,
in
when
our
are we
taco
doing this?
challenge.
These have already gotten cold and
They smell delicious.
Can I
Teresa knows we can't even
I
eat
just wanna
like
watch
the
it.
carbs. We're doing this 30 day, but there's protein.
Is it good? Is it salty?
You want one?
No.
So we're doing
can
a
take one.
taco, a
That would show me
fajita
words about
taco
having any.
challenge. Obi's team beef. I'm team chicken. We're gonna need for you to join in next week on this on Monday and vote in the poll for 100, and you could win $100 for Tijuana Flats. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
Which-
You get a lot of food
yeah,
with $100.
$100 goes a long way. We ordered Tijuana Flats last night, and because we're a family of 6, we had 2 people over 2, so it was $70. I mean, that's pricey for us. But for $100, man,
Heck yeah,
feed your whole
That's for
family
8
twice.
people, though. That if there's only 2 people or 3 people in your family, and
Do it a couple times.
yeah, you
Yeah.
you get like 4 or 5 meals out of it.
Mm.
And I wanted to real quick. I think it was, where is it? Sorry, looking through the comments. I think it was Nisha.
Nisha.
Yeah, Nisha. She asked if I was a Lake Howell High School Silverhawk, which yes, I am. Which
Oh,
is
wow.
right here,
Yeah.
right here. So I didn't know. There's actually a few people because I've talked about it before. There's a few people who follow us who went to Lake Howell, so it's like a gang.
Alumni.
Gang. It's a posse.
I am gonna
Um,
try this, Teresa. It's because you can eat chicken. It's protein.
What
said-
makes
she
it a
said-
fajita taco?
Because of the onions, the peppers.
Sauteed.
You know how, like, the
So it's like a
fajitas come
fajita,
out?
but in a taco
But
shell
in a
versus
taco,
in a
okay,
fajita shell.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Tijuana Flats.
Probably, like, breaking
So
it
good.
right now. Fine. Take them in hand.
Hi, Lynette. We're sorry you can't hear us.
Why?
No, I think it's probably on her phone because everyone else can hear us.
Oh, yeah. And Slater's not with us.
No.
Slater had a doctor's appointment that
Yeah.
he couldn't change. He's good though, and trust me.
He'll actually be here in like 3 minutes. He'll probably walk in the middle of this.
Well, and all of us have really grown to like this. So I hope that you guys are okay with us doing this at 11 o'clock on Thursdays. This has become fun.
Mhm.
Become very fun.
Melissa,
They're good.
what you say?
Yes. See?
Hail to the like how.
And honestly,
vibe.
that's funny. So when I got the job here on the radio station back in 2014, my interview was with a guy who doesn't work here anymore, but I didn't have any experience in radio at all. He literally looked at my resume and saw that I went to Lake Howell, and he was like, let's try this. Let's try it. And I was like, yeah, see, so I got the job. And he even said after my first year, he was like, thank goodness you worked out because I had no reason to hire you other than the fact that I liked that you went to Lake Howell.
Nice. See,
So
it's
it was
all about who you
funny.
know sometimes.
Yeah, but that was destined. That
Oh,
was
no, for
destined
sure.
to happen.
I
Yeah.
was supposed to be here. So
Wait, Sherry, I'm not eating the pocket. I'm doing a good job too.
Was that
Your
steak?
mom said good
Oh.
job. She sees your eyes.
because I'm like watching her. Yeah, she's just eating the good stuff
Just
out
the
of
meat.
the taco.
The protein. Shout out to Diamond Resorts. She says she'll be tuning into the interview later. So Tara, yeah, you got to watch the Facebook later. It will be live music from Cole Swindell and Randy Hauser
Yes.
tonight.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
cool.
gosh.
And Lee Bryce
Darla.
the other night was really good as well. Like haven't heard much of his new music because I've just been
So
listening
good.
to the radio station in the car. And we only play certain ones, but yeah, he's got some really good
So
ones
good.
on that new album.
Yes. My favorite one is Soul, if you're interested in new
And
music.
it was hilarious because when we were talking to him backstage, he was like, this is the first time I am performing these new songs live. He's like, I'm just praying I remember all the words because he's like, it's like has not done the new songs live yet because no one's
Yeah.
performing. So he was just like, they've been out for a while, but to perform them live is a whole different beast. And so I'm hoping I
Yeah.
just remember.
You know, that's one of my biggest fears because it's happened several times during public speaking that I forget where I was going. You know, so like
You?
No, not me.
I'll be talking about something, blah 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 blah, and then I'll go off on another tangent.
Today?
I did that in the
Like,
middle.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Listen, I did that
That's
in
the
the middle of
worst for a public speaker.
a maid of honor speech. When I was a maid of honor, I
Oh, no.
tried to put away my speech so I didn't have to look at the paper. And halfway through, I was like, I can't find where I was at and I'm lost. So I'm just going to wing it. Let's go. Worse, it didn't even make the video that they make. Like, they put the best man speech in it and mine was cut out completely. And I was like, it was that bad. Okay.
That's good.
But I get to redeem myself. I'm in another wedding in March. I'm like, this
Oh
is gonna be
my
the
God.
best speech ever. I gotta redeem
So wait, will you
myself.
use, are you putting it in your iPhone? Are you writing it down?
I'm
What-
gonna write it down on a piece of paper because I don't want to risk my phone going black on me,
Yeah.
dying. Like I'm just not.
Mhm.
I did for my brother-in-law's wedding. I was the best man, and I did a little trick where I had all these index cards. Like I made sure that I had a thick pack of index cards, but really the speech was only written on two of them. So those two. So like as I
Oh, so
walked
you made it
out,
seem like it's gonna be a super long speech.
and as
Oh my god.
and as I walked out, I said, "Man, I've got some stuff to say about this guy." And I turned around and like I went, "Oh!" And all the cards all over the floor. And I was like, "Oh man, oh man." Okay, well, let me just do. I'm just gonna use these two. Sorry, I'm gonna give these to you later. And just-
I'm
Yeah,
stealing
so-
it. I'm just kidding.
That
That
is
is so
funny.
good.
so
That's good.
good stuff.
Well, okay, we do have to tell you Monday. Don't forget, get registered. It's more so too for like $100 to help with Super Bowl stuff. If you want to have some Tijuana flats at
For the
home,
big game.
yeah. So
I
team
mean,
beef.
let's be honest. Tacos are so much better with football. I mean, football's so much better with tacos. I don't like football, so you gotta have the tacos to make it. And it's in February, which means that I can actually eat the cheese and the sour cream
Right? I
in
know.
the taco,
Yeah.
Take it away.
not just the meat out of it.
Nice. I love Darla. You must be a real fan, remembering when Ashley was Dakota.
Mm-hmm. I know, I
And
love that.
what a lot of people may not know too is when I was doing my hip hop morning show, which is just a few studios down. Whenever our morning show girl Esty was out, we would have Ashley come in.
It was
I think we
crazy.
froze. I think we froze.
No,
No,
it was over there for a little bit, but on here too. Yes, and she was out for her honeymoon for like 7 days
Back.
straight one time.
Yeah.
And that was my first experience with morning show stuff, I think.
And it was with Obi.
yeah.
and
Obi Lil
Lil
Sean.
Sean, yeah.
And
So-
and I actually grew up listening to AJ and Ashley when it was
That is
Ashley,
funny.
when it was Dakota as well.
Old
And I remember
Ashley.
thinking, like, I wonder if Dakota and Ashley are actually friends. Like, do they actually hang out? And now we've got Ashley on the morning show and I'm the midday girl. And I'm just like, and we're actually friends. So I guess it's You know,
I know.
Full
Well,
circle.
and you know, it's interesting. At that time in my life, I was single. I was a lot younger. So we would go to Cowboys. We had our nights. We tried to get in her house one time because she locked herself out of her house.
and now
like-
and both of us are married. so
Now
it's
she's
like-
got married. Now she's married with 2 kids. It's crazy how, you grow up.
Did people refer to you as Dakota? Like, did they say Dakota at an event?
Yeah. And I totally it was normal.
Well, Dakota's a good name. You picked
it is.
I
a
loved
good
it.
name. Yeah.
Yeah. But then that was weird because people didn't believe my real name was Ashley after that.
Right.
We had to go through that. But
You're like convenient. You just happen to be now AJ and Ashley. It's just
Yeah.
convenient that your real name's Ashley. I remember you actually posting.
my
I didn't work here
ID.
yet. You posted your ID on Facebook because I literally followed everything. I even called into the radio station and was on Obie and Ashley before I worked here,
What?
as like they did a Throwback Thursday thing talking about like items that you use. Items that you use. Is everything okay?
Yep, just looking at a commercial that's supposed to be
Somebody's missing a spot.
you know what?
We'll send
not.
it out.
I'm just gonna let. it
But
send
yeah,
it
I
out.
called in and I was like, oh, you know those things that you put in your car that you like, they're not VHS, they're tapes, and they have the auxiliary cord that you can play your music through your speakers in the
Yeah,
cars that
yeah.
only had tape players. And I talked about it on the air, and I wish I could find that clip, but it's from like
Oh my
6 years
God.
ago. So
That would be awesome.
Oh my gosh, how funny would that be? That'd be awesome.
Well, Chloe told us the same thing. And when you don't realize who listens to you, Chloe's like, I listened to you guys. And I was like, oh, now she knows that how we really are.
I mean, my first All-Star Jam was my first day on the job, and I was more excited to meet AJ and Ashley than I was Chase Rice.
That is funny.
Awesome.
I was like, can I go say hi? And my boss was like, let them do their stuff. You
Aw.
can say hi after. I walked up and like,
So crazy.
How funny.
Hi guys.
It's wild.
How funny.
Crazy.
Man, I love it. I love it because I don't even feel that old. When I have
know.
conversations with people who I think are my age. Like I look at people who I think are my age and they're like, I used to listen to you in middle school. I'm like, bro, well, how old are you, man? Like, what
Their voice is just really deep.
the-
Yeah.
Just wants to know how long you've been there, Melissa.
how long have I been at the radio station? Since 2014. So 6 years now? Yeah, August will be 6 years.
That's good.
Yeah. That's the great thing about this
No,
company, too.
August will be 7 years.
oh my
Because it's
God.
2021.
Yeah.
So 7
Holy
years.
moly.
Nice.
August.
Nice. And
Yeah.
Chloe, you, how long so far?
2 years. I started
Oh,
in
and she might be
promo.
leaving us. We've talked about that on the
Yes.
show already.
Potentially, maybe.
We
There's a job
did, but-
opportunity in Athens, Georgia.
Why don't you get up to that mic?
If you didn't already hear about this,
If you,
it's a
if you
good
didn't
thing.
know,
It's
well,
not
now
bad.
you're gonna know. So I was presented an opportunity from our program director, Steve. There is a morning show co-host position. I have to take these off. I hear myself. There's a morning show co-host position that's available in Athens, Georgia. So last week I was gone Monday through Friday. I was on air out there, and I really had a great time. I fell in love with everyone out there. Obviously, you guys are my K92.3 family, and I would not be anywhere without you guys. So it's I have the next couple days to really think about it and make a decision, decide on it, see if I get the job offer. I mean, I'm still waiting on that. So
We'll be
Yeah.
talking about it more on the show. We brought it up the other day for anyone that missed it, just in case. But we'll be bringing it up and talking about it more just because it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Even though we'd be
Yeah.
losing her, and then we're going to have to find somebody else.
I mean, but like proud parents, you're excited to see somebody go on and progress and
Yeah.
not just progress, but get a really
Well,
sweet opportunity.
And you two should be super proud too, because it happened with Slater where you had him in here, he did things, and then he graduated to the afternoon show.
Yeah.
And then you got Chloe in here. Now Chloe's graduating to the next,
Potentially
potentially graduating
grabbing.
to the next thing.
yeah,
The fact
yeah.
that you even considered means that you're growing and you're learning
Absolutely.
and
Yeah, the fact that you've got eyes on you,
Yeah.
like
Well,
talent
it's exciting.
scouts.
Teresa, the thing that's cool about this is we could keep her, but she wouldn't be on the morning show. This is a morning show opportunity,
Right.
which in the radio world, that is kind of like if you're wanting to get to that spot, it's kind of the prime time spot. So a morning show position for her to take is really gonna.
Walker and
Walker
Chloe
and Chloe
sound
sounds like a Hallmark movie. I promise you, when I was on air last
Walker and
week, that was
Chloe.
not a Hallmark movie.
Well, and he's like married with kids, right?
Yeah, he's married with kids. And I mean, Athens, it's the heart of UGA. It's the home of the dogs. And so I come in, Florida girl, all my life, born and raised in South Florida, where it's even hotter down there. And then you go up to Georgia, where it's like 20, 30 degrees, ice freezing over on your windows, and these dog fans. I'm a diehard Gator fan. So it was interesting.
So we'll keep you posted on the morning show
Yeah.
as this progresses.
Yeah, you're gonna
sure.
have to be comfortable being with that dude, and I don't know many other morning show guys and what they're like as far as to work with. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
You having to learn to work with another chef.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And it's opportunities for me to make mistakes and get better at my craft
And grow up a little
grow up.
bit
Yeah.
on your own.
It's far. I'm not going to lie. I'm nervous. I mean, 24
But it could be
years
farther.
old.
It could be
way
Seattle.
farther.
Oh,
It
man.
could
Exactly.
be Washington, and you would literally have to get on a plane every time you wanted to leave versus
Yeah.
driving.
And that's like regional change. Not, I
Yeah.
mean, at least Georgia's right there.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
yeah.
right there. It's on
You
the
had to
border.
get in your car and drive for any reason because
I needed
you wanted to come home. You
Totally.
could.
Totally. It's really exciting stuff. And I owe it to you guys. I say it all the time. All you listening out there, watching, you guys believed in me from the start. Obie and Ashley, Melissa Slater. So it's all good stuff. It's exciting. And I will keep you all posted on what happens in the next couple weeks.
So Jessica says good luck. And
Thank you,
yeah,
Jessica.
and for us too,
Hey,
because
Tom.
as she spreads her wings, we'll be looking for a new egg to sit on.
Yeah, any ideas?
And it could be you out there.
It
You
could
never
be.
know.
We want to incubate you.
You never
You
know.
okay with us sitting on
And
you?
don't worry, Slater will be the one sleeping in a tower, not you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only going to be certain things that Slater's just made for.
Right.
He's
Did
just
you see
made for. He's
Lynette to
built
get
for
a
it.
large dryer from when
Yes.
I stuck my body in the dryer the
Or
other
just
day.
get
Funny.
a heater
Very
that you know
funny.
how to use.
That I
Yeah.
know how to use. Yeah.
Lynette, I love that. I love that people bring up this stuff
That is
like
awesome.
that we talk about during the show because like it's like, oh my God, you guys really listen. Because look
it's
around
true.
this room.
But Lynette, you can't, what's that called? You can't enable her not knowing how to use her heater. Well, I know you're coming from a good place.
She's like, yeah, that's easier. I'll just buy a large dryer.
So I wanted to show you all the room because every single time we talk, man, we don't know. We don't know if this, it's not like there's a live studio audience that's like, or woo. Like,
Well, that's
so
all fake on TV shows anyway.
I know, right?
the
With the big
audience
signs that say applause.
Everyone clap. Actually, I went, oh God, what is the night show? Seth Meyers, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like 2 years ago, I went
Those
and saw
are
Seth
real.
Meyers. Yeah, I got chills. And this is just me being a, radio entertainment nerd, but Kenny Chesney was on and I sat down and they were like, there are signs that literally say applause. There's a guy that like hypes you up. And I was like, as the whole thing
Mhm.
started and Seth Meyers came out, it was like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. This is so
It is
cool.
Yeah.
Just from watching something like that. So it's a little bit smaller scale in here just because it's the five of us and there's not a person that's literally getting paid to
We
just
have
sit
no
in the
hype
crowd.
people.
No
We're,
hype
we're our
people.
own hype
We're each other. I was
people.
gonna say we're each other's type, man.
But again, I do want you to notice something because I'll say this like I said in the beginning. There's not another radio station on the planet that's doing this. That's you know how it is wherever you work, right? So if we put ourselves in your shoes, wherever you work, you probably don't get along with everybody. That happens in work. Here with this staff, man, it's so beautiful that we do have a great synergy, and that's why we wanted to do this. So this way y'all can kind of feel it. Now, you know more about us than shoot. I mean, my brother hasn't even asked me some of the questions that we've answered
Mhm.
during some of these. So it's cool.
Really good
Yeah.
stuff.
All right, so we're at the 43-minute mark. I'm gonna be
Woo!
respectful of people's time and everybody in here.
And I don't know about you, but
And we've got Tijuana Flats
My
to
mom
kill.
just said that because this is true. My grandfather used to record jokes on a thing and dub in applause.
What?
Like back in the day.
No way.
I was like, he'd be so proud of me right now. I do
wonder-
dub in my own applause sometimes. Let's be honest.
That didn't happen. That is
it was
great.
funny. That was really funny.
Thank you guys for
Yes,
hanging out,
thank
though.
you.
Yes.
That is cool.
Always
Have
good to
a
hear from
warmer
you.
weekend too.
Yes.
And don't forget, next week, starting Monday, are you Team Obie, Team Ashley, Team Chicken, or Team Steak with Tijuana Flats? Getting that
Love it.
$100 gift card.
Cool.
Yes.
Tom Cardinal, good to see you. I
Yes,
haven't
we
seen you
gotta-
since the rent and roll
We gotta
days.
do our
our huddle.
huddle.
You guys put your hands in and
This
pretend
I'll
is-
we
put
can
this
it
see
is
you.
the-
for Slater.
This is when we do the
What is it
this
again? I don't
this started
remember.
like 2 times ago, and I
Are
don't
we
know.
touching?
I don't know if it's gonna stick.
What do we say? 1, 2, 3. How's it going?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then we go break. Right? Okay, so
Oh no.
this is
Oh,
where we
okay.
look.
Okay.
Still going.
This is where we look directly into the camera like Mr. Rogers, and we say, "Now you at home, put
hands
your
in.
hand out so you can be part of the K Huddle."
Now it's time to say goodbye.
That's creepy. All right, y'all. Love you guys a lot. On the count of 3, let's say goodbye. Okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Hey! Bye,
See you
guys.
guys.